I'm going to take a couple of minutes and I'm going to close us out. Okay? So, first of all, hearty congratulations to all of you. Okay? Very much so. I want to, on behalf of the faculty, just leave you with a few closing thoughts. I first want you to just take one last solid look around yourselves, because this set of people that you have built a collective with is the most important thing that you've done here. Everything else will be secondary, because we told you when you came in, there is no genius or brilliance or dictatorial power or sovereign king that changes the world. The world is changed not by strokes of mastery, but it is changed not just incrementally, but collectively. And to do that, you have to always build a community of practice. A lot of people have invoked the idea of family and of friendship. I think it's a very powerful way to be collective as humans. But I want to offer you a slightly different noun. Family bonds and holds you in particular ways. But I grew up as a gay person in India in the 90s. I was very suspicious of forms of family. Queer people, and I mean this in the sense of many people who don't quite have permission to fly as high as we'd like, have always had to find ways to believe that the bonds you create can be as powerful as the bonds of birth, and that the bonds of affection and trust and friendship can be as powerful as the bonds that demand loyalty, because that's the loyalty we've always had. I want you to believe in the community you have created. I want you to believe in the strength of bonds that come from intellectual comradeship, from respectful disagreement, from collective belief, from conflict and confluence, from struggle and from moments of unheralded, unfiltered joy. You will find many times in your life as you go on that you will find yourself unsure of where to head. You will find yourself unsure of what to do. The world will not reflect you back to yourselves. And you will try very hard because you're strong and you're good. And you will look in that mirror and you will say, I am enough. And you must. But you don't have to do it alone. The best thing that communities give us is mirrors that are slightly less lonely. Don't look in your own mirror. Do that. Look at each other as mirrors to yourselves. One of the greatest joys of friendship is not quite always needing to be the only place where you seek self-belief. And one of the greatest joys in the world is to see yourself through the eyes of someone who loves you and someone who respects you. Okay? We were never meant to be individual, isolated beings. We were always meant to find ourselves through each other. You have a deep opportunity to hold on to each other. But I will also say this to you. Adult life will do every damn possible thing to make this hard. Eh? So friendship, which feels so light, is hard work. It is the hardest work you ever do. But believe and take one thing from us, there is no work worth doing more. If you grow old with friends, you will always be safe. You will always be strong. You will always find your way. We don't teach, value, respect, accord, friendship as much as we should. Seek communities of practice. Don't seek heroism. Heroism is when collective systems have failed. Heroism is not a good thing. Heroism should not be required of people. Dignity should not require courage. It should be offered without condition. So don't think that to change the world you blaze paths. You collectively walk, you collectively make. That's the first thing that I want to leave you with. The second thing I want to leave you with is something I've been thinking about a long time, which is about the simultaneity of feelings of anger and feelings of joy. They're tricky, huh? There's a lot in the world to be angry about. There is a lot in the world you must be angry about. When I was in college, there used to be this email signature. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Okay? That's what it's used to say. But I've learned a lot from the alumni and classes that have gone through. And one thing I've learned is that anger is very hard to control. It's an incredible motivator, but it slips out of your hands very quickly. Because there is anger that comes at its root from compassion, from an anger at injustice. There is also an anger that comes at its root from fear. And in the world, you will feel both kinds of anger. The anger that comes from fear will eat you from the inside. You will not be able to direct it to change the world. The anger that comes, that even through it, at its heart, has a compassion for yourself and for a different kind of world, is the anger that moves revolutions. Be careful of the anger that comes from fear. Hold on to the anger that comes from compassion. And at the same time, and this is my plea to you, take joy as seriously as a battery as anger. Mountains have moved with people who believe in joy. Revolutions have begun with people who believe in joy. It is not only anger that can move you, so can joy. And joy is a movement that also lifts everyone along with you. It makes people want to move with you. Think about that balance of anger and joy. The world can push you towards anger. Don't refuse it, but insist on holding your joy, collectively, individually. And if you can find, I always gave you one balance. Okay? And Antra gave me an incredible gift of a transliteration of empathy and rigor, carved out. Empathy and rigor is the one balance we've asked you to hold. I want to give you another as you leave, a slightly trickier one, which is anger and joy. Remember which batteries you're tipping into when. Care for yourself as you go out to change the world. Your fight has to sustain, and it has to last long. And at the end, I will say to you what I have said to every batch that graduates this program. Okay? I wish you joy. I wish you anger. I wish you heartbreak. I wish you ecstasy, but I also wish you reason. I wish you utopias. I wish you rejections. But more than anything, I wish you place. I wish you a relationship with place so that where you stand remembers that you stood there. I wish that you fall in love with cities or towns or villages or mountains or rivers. I wish that you see that places are a kind of friendship that let you return to yourself. And I hope all the places that you find will always remember your name and give testimony that you led lives worth living. You should be astonishingly proud of yourself. You have fought very, very hard. And no matter what happens tomorrow, today, contra to what I just said, today you get to be heroes. That's what you look like from here. So be proud, look into your own mirror, turn left, turn right, and look into your other mirrors. And you remember who you are, and you remember where you came from. And then where you end up is entirely secondary. Go well, go happy, go joyously, and give yourself a very big round of applause and congratulations. Okay?